Hello everyone, good morning, and I am here to discuss this topic with you all scholars. Sometimes, what we have to do during the publication of any kind of the document or the article or the research paper, sometimes we feel that we are correct in every sense, but somehow there may be a mistake on our part, and that mistake can be called as misconduct. Academic misconduct may be there, research misconduct may be there. As I have discussed, elaborated all these things with you all, what kind of the misconduct may be there. In the previous lectures, we have discussed these points which are related to research misconduct. One of them is fabrication, falsification, then third one is plagiarism. And moreover, self-plagiarism is also there. And we have elaborated these things with examples. And after that, today I am going to here to discuss with you all how to deal with these misconduct. If anyone misconduct is happening or committed by us, then how we can resolve, how the institution can resolve, how the employer can resolve. Different guidelines, different best practices, different principles were being displayed, were being propounded, were being conducted or created and established by different organizations at the world level, at the national level, at the state level, at the university level also. But the thing is very much important to convey with you all, my dear scholars, that we have to see and we have to check what kind of the misconduct may be there, as I told you earlier, and how to deal with it. If the first one, the organization, which has been named as COPE, what is the meaning of it? Committee on Publication Ethics. That was the committee which was propounded by different philosophers, scholars, scientists to curb that scenario of the misconduct. I just share with you all this everything. Committee on Publication Ethics. That was founded in 1997 to address the breaches of the research and publication ethics. What is that? That was the committee which is being held, being corroborated with all kind of the misconduct which were happened earlier and which are happening till date. To check out, to hand out, and to curb these kind of the misconduct, the Committee on Publication Ethics has given different guidelines, different protocols. And it becomes a voluntary body providing a discussion forum and advice for scientific editors. It aims to find practical ways of dealing with the issues and to develop good practices or the best practices so that in future we can protect ourselves or we can enjoy ourselves with any kind of the freedom without any kind of the misconduct. And that was the basic fundamental of this Committee on Publication Ethics. As far as the guidelines were prepared, developed from a preliminary version drafted by the individual member. What was that? Different members were there, different discussions were held, different rounds of the discussions were held. But the draft of the guidelines was prepared by individual member individually. Suppose we all scholars, suppose we are attending this class, we are 5 to 10 members. 10 members committee may be there, and person number 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, every 10 members have drafted their own policies, on recommendations, on protocols. And after that, they were clubbed together. And then the Committee on the Publication Ethics has drafted a final protocol. Why? Because of these guidelines are intended to be the advisory rather than the prescriptive and to evolve over time. They have prepared these guidelines. Any kind of the suggestion, any kind of the corrective measures, any kind of the development, any kind of the improvement can be done. They have not stopped the area. They have not stopped the any kind of the periphery, that they will not accept any kind of the suggestion for the improvement. They have remained open these guidelines. For that purpose, different guidelines are there. What they have decided, what they have prepared, as far as the decision regarding the study design is concerned, these guidelines said that good research should be well justified, well planned, appropriately designed, and ethically approved. The word is very much important for me. What is that? Ethically approved. Because of ethically approved mean to say, I have to underline this point so that the paper which is meant for guidelines, mean to say ethically guidelines, okay, you have prepared the good research proposal, no problem. But when it will be treated as good, if it is well justified, mean to say justification with that. Suppose you are doing the research and you have proposed before teacher, okay sir, I am willing to pursue my PhD on this topic. Let me know what is the justification of that research, why you are doing it. Mean to say you have to justify that topic. If that topic is not justified by you, then there is no any relevance, no any benefit, no any significance of that study. Another one is well planned, mean to say how many steps you will taken care of. On which day, what you will do. On the another day, what you will do. On the third day or the third month or the next 6 months, quarters, semi-quarters, what you will do. Mean to say proper plan must be there. On, mean to say how many days you will take for the purpose of the data collection, for the purpose of the other issues, and how you will prepare your synopsis. In that synopsis, what kind of the design you will prepare, and after that you will convey and verify yourself. Okay, that is nice. Moreover, ethically approval is there. For this example, I have to convey to you all, my dear scholars, the university, Chaudhary Deolal University Sirsa, has implemented a policy, academic integrity and publication ethics, with effect from September 6, 2021. Recently, this policy has been implemented in the university. When you will prepare your synopsis, that must be ethically approved through a software. Software is available with the university library. The name of the software is Original. Earlier it was, erstwhile it was named as Urkund, Urkund. I will elaborate everything about that software also in these lectures. It means to say, or in a concluding way, we can say that we have to submit our synopsis after the approval of that particular software, after the certification of that software, after the certification of the inflip coordinator. Okay, nothing is unethical in this particular synopsis. Moreover, the second point, as per the protocol of the COPE, that is data analysis. What it meant to say? If we will go through this, all guidelines are to be shared in the Google Classroom. You can read thoroughly, no problem. One by one, I will elaborate these things. Action. If you are willing to get the research design ethically approved, what actions are to be needed for that purpose? One is laboratory and clinical research should be driven by protocol. Pilot studies should be have a written rationale. Sometimes what we do for the final collection of the data, sometimes it is suggested that okay, for the testing of the questionnaire, testing the reliability and validity of that research instrument, please go for the pilot survey. Here I have a question before you all, that is there any kind of the rationality? Is there any need? Is there any significance? If yes, you can go for the pilot study. Otherwise, no. Do the final experiment in your laboratory. Don't waste any kind of the equipment or the material or the chemical for the purpose of the pilot testing. Somehow it has a significance, then you can do. Otherwise, no. Second one is seek to answer specific questions rather than just collect data. During the preparation of the synopsis, we must have different objectives of the particular topic. Suppose one topic is given to you all. What is the impact of the COVID-19 on the economies of different countries? Yes, you have taken this topic. It is related to literature also, it is related to mass communication also, it is both. Because of, as far as the literature is concerned, some students or the scholars from the English department is with us or are with us. What the question is that the number of the literary books have increased themselves as number of the books, or in terms of the number of books, the sale increases during COVID-19. Yes or no? Point number one. What kind of the books people have preferred in these days? Two objectives are there, and I can justify these two objectives with my data collection, and I have chosen that topic, impact of COVID-19 on economies of different nations. That was my topic, but I have connected it with media, with commerce and management, as well as the English. Common project is there, interdisciplinary is there, multidisciplinary is there. Yes, everyone is affecting. For example, before COVID-19, there was no one to read the lines, to read the poetry of the Kamala Das. But during COVID-19, nobody left that who have not studied the poetry of the Kamala Das. Or there are so many people, so many scholars, philosophers, they have studied the literature which is given by the Ruskin Bond. John Keats, different scholars are there from the literature. As far as the media is concerned, what kind of the altmetrics about the Facebook clicks? What about the altmetrics of the Facebook opinion, Twitter opinion, YouTube opinion? They have been changed or not? Or the number of the viewers of social media increased or decreased during COVID-19? And we can visualize these things by choosing this topic. And now The second action is required here. Mean to say you have to seek the answers to the specific question, not to just go away and collect the data without any kind of the requirement. Why you are going? You have the Ultimatrix, you have downloaded so many material, but there is no any significance of it. Why you are doing? No, no need. For the purpose of the justification of the study design and the ethical approval of that particular topic, you must have to see the significance of the pilot study. If yes, then go, otherwise no. Another point, protocols must be carefully agreed by all contributors and collaborators, including, if appropriate, the participants. Am I audible and visible both? Please clarify.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the third one is, what do we feel that there are so many participants in our research. They may be our research community, academicians, philosophers, my respondents, my scholars, my teachers, my colleagues, yes, my editors, publishers, they may be the part of my research. But have I followed the protocols? Yes or no? Have I collected my data by giving the exact information to them? By disseminating the objective of my thesis to them? Yes or no? Have I taken the consent of the research participant before collecting the data? Okay, gentlemen, gentle lady, I am willing to collect the information about your income, your age, your gender, your occupation, your details regarding your health profile. Do you agree to share this information with me? Okay, I can proceed. Otherwise, no. Do you have followed this protocol? If yes, then you are having the follower or the point of the following the COVID protocol as well as the COPE protocol. Because of without any consent of the respondent, you are not able to and you are not supposed to take any kind of the information. The fourth point is protocol should form part of the research record. Yes. What it mean to say? Suppose you have taken the report from the inflib coordinator. The word is being used inflibnet.in, information and library network. That is inflibnet, the acronym of it, inflibnet. The network is meant for the curbing of the plagiarism. This particular inflibnet platform provides the Orkund software, as I told you earlier, that is the name is nowadays Original, OURIGINAL, Original. This software is given. The librarian or the inflib coordinator is providing a certificate to you. That certificate that must be the part of your synopsis as well as must be the part of your thesis. The fourth point is saying, wherever you have followed your protocol, you must insert it as the part of your research outcomes. What I'm going to say here. For example, you have taken the consent from your research participants. Sometimes what we do, different scholars, they visit different libraries and they take the permission from the Department of Commerce. For example, I am taking the Department of Commerce example. What we feel that when the chairperson provide that certificate, okay, she is our bona fide or he is our bona fide research scholar, please allow him or her to attend your library. That certificate must also be the part of your final record. Okay, I have taken permission from my department and I have visited following libraries, and that is their consent. This library allowed me to join or to attend the library. These must be the part of our thesis. One is every agreement on the precise rules of the contributors and the collaborators and on the matters of the authorship is advised. What it mean to say? It mean to say, when you are doing any kind of the agreement, my dear scholars, if you will know, a particular project on cognitive style and multimedia learning in collaboration with my wife. For that purpose, our inventory or the software we need from the University of Auckland, New York. Being a permanent teacher of this university, I made an MOU. Okay, please provide this document. Please provide this software. That is an MOU. And we have to take this MOU and we will utilize it for this purpose, for academic purpose. That MOU is inserted in the thesis of that particular candidate. Why? Because of the protocol is saying every agreement must be exposed. Every agreement must be the part of your final thesis or the final research outcome. Yes. And we must acknowledge. The sixth point is saying statistical issues should be considered early in the study design, including power calculations, to ensure there are neither too few nor too many participants. What it means to say? Here is the power calculation. Power calculation means to say, suppose you are taking 5% level of significance. I hope you already have understood this concept. What is the meaning of the hypothesis? And what is the level of significance? And what is the level of the confidence level? If you follow me, then no problem. Otherwise, I will elaborate this point also. If any confusion, you can tell. If no, I can proceed. Yes, anyone can give the response.
So you can proceed.
Okay. Hypothesis is simply a presumption about the research questions. It can happen or not. Suppose I am taking an example. Today will be rain. Maybe, may not be. I may be wrong, may be right. That is my hypothesis, my perception, my pre-assumption, you can say. But there is a chance of error. I will take 5% chance of error. Chance of error simply mean to say 5% chances are to be taken or are to be accepted by me. Some persons are from the science background, they will say no, 5% is very much higher side. You will take it as 0.01, 1% only. Okay, problem. On the basis of the 5% level of significance, the sample size will be different. On the basis of the 0.01 significance level, the sample size will be different. The COPE guidelines are saying here what will be your power calculation. You will take 0.05 or 0.01, which will be your significance level. Mean to say chance of error, how much you are going to accept. On that basis, you will select your sample and then you have to decide how you will analyze your data and which techniques. Sampling techniques may be there, random sampling technique, stratified random sampling techniques, different techniques are there. In case of the research methodology, you will study these things. The COPE guidelines clearly says that you must define and declare which tool of the analysis will be utilized by you at the time of the submission of the synopsis. Mean to say, as and when you will start your research work, you have to clearly mention in your mind, and you have to prepare a frame in your mind how many tools or techniques of the statistical point of view are to be implemented. You must clear. Next one is formal and documented ethical approval from an appropriate constituted research ethics committee is required for all studies involving people, medical record, and anonymized human tissues. What it mean to say? These guidelines were propounded in 1997, as I told you earlier, and at the beginning of this document is available. What they are saying under this point, or the protocol or the action, is saying that everywhere you have to prepare ethical committees. In my department of commerce, I must have to prepare a panel of the ethics committee so that we can visualize and analyze the thesis or the synopsis. Any kind of the unethical activities has not been indulged in that document, yes or no? From the department of the biotechnology or the biology or the geology, where such kind of the chemicals are being used, bioethics committee is there, yes or no? Geology ethics committees, yes or no? Animal protection ethical committee, yes or no? Mean to say these initiated or constituted. These guidelines said that. So that they have to prepare the proper record. What kind of the equipment, what kind of particular chemical was used. That was
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Sir.
Hello, sir.
I think sir is not present here.
Okay, thank you, sir.
hello.
Hello, sir.
Ji, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay.
Yes, it is okay now, sir.
I hope screen is not visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
sir.
assume. Okay, just sharing my screen. How many people you are here?
So 10 to 12 people are here.
Okay, okay. I have connected myself two devices so that we can continue this class. Sanjana, am I audible and visible? Both?
So yes, the both.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, let's continue. The point number 9 is going on. Fully informed consent. Mean to say we have to take the consent from the respondent who are willing to give the information about their background, their occupation, age, income, etc. etc. Demographic information is there. Moreover, any kind of question when we arise before them, we must have the consent. It is necessary. Any other point is there. Here is the when participant are unable to give fully informed consent, research should follow international guidelines which are given by this CIMS. For example, here you have seen in COVID-19 when it is some of the nations are not willing to participate in that research. To solve the problem, at that moment, CIOMS, that council has took a step and they have activated all the medical facilities, all the nations, all the health ministers of different nations, they sit together through online mode. And after that, they resolve that, okay, we have to check out this problem. And they did. At that moment, CIOMS has played an important role. An important role was played by that organization. Therefore, the same thing is called COP guidelines are saying, okay, we have to follow these international guidelines. Sometimes there are so many questions are being raised by different nations at the different research backgrounds. For the purpose of the fulfillment of the objective of that policy, which they have for their protocols. Sometimes their policy is not allowing, sometimes that is allowing. For example, the Union of India, or you can say Indian government, is willing to provide the medicine to a nation. But the government of India has to see its policy. That policy is allowing that medicine that can be exported to anyone? If yes, then no problem. If no, then we have to give the relaxation in that policy if you are willing to supply. Same way, animal experiments require full compliance with the local, national, ethical, and regulatory principles and local licensing arrangements. International standards vary. What mean to the standards? What kind of the international? Sometimes there is no any tradition or any culture to kill the animal. Sometimes for the research, a particular creature is being killed. Suppose we are doing or willing to create any kind of the research or doing research on the rat or the cockroach. That particular animals are to be killed for the purpose of the experimentation of the research. Is it allowed as per the bioethical committees? If yes, then you can proceed. If no, you have to stop. Another one is formal supervision, usually the responsibility of the principal investigator, should be provided for all research projects. Must include quality control and frequent review and long-term retention, maybe up to 15 years of all records and primary outputs. What it mean to say? It means to say if any kind of project is going on, you are willing to start any project for the purpose of the research facility, you have to take the attention of 15 years. What it means to say? Now, in the previous year, different countries, they have evolved the COVID vaccine. After an experiment of 1 year or 2 years, different trials were taken. But these guidelines are saying that you must continue it. Trial 3, okay, you have medicated, you have vaccinated the different people, no problem. But you have to take that more trials of vaccination in different circumstances, in different cultures, in different environments. What may be the impact of that COVID vaccine during the winter season? That may be different. In the summer season, that may be different. In the younger generation, that may be different. All may be different. Mean to say different varieties are there. On that, a particular COVID vaccine can be given or can be vaccinated to a person who is having the AIDS point of view or having the cancer point of view, any kind of the disease there. Can we utilize that particular vaccine for them also? Yes or no? If it will be given, what will be the impact of it on their body? If not given, what will be the impact of the COVID disease on that particular body? You have to see. For that purpose, for the purpose of the research, principal investigator, research guide, research supervisor must be there. Who will supervise every time? What is going on? What is going on? What is the next status? What is the update in this scenario? Now, another protocol or second point is, all my dear scholars, let me clarify this word, data. Data is plural. Sometimes we speak data is collected. No, never write this thing. Data are collected. The plural, the word is plural, and the singular of this particular data is datum, D-E-T-U-M. Why I am utilizing these kind of the English language words here? Because of we the researcher, and it is our ethical responsibility of being a teacher that I have to convey these things with you all, so that we will not pronounce or not utilize these words in a casual manner. Data should be appropriately analyzed, but inappropriate analysis does not necessarily amount to misconduct. It means to say, suppose As I have told, talk on different economies of the nations or different economies of the world, you can say. You found that due to COVID-19, the population of each and every country increases. Yes, the first. Second point, I will misinterpret it in the next line. Please listen carefully. Due to the increase in the population during COVID-19, the crime rate will decrease or have decreased. That's not the first result was correct, no problem. On the basis of the data and the facts, we found that okay, as and COVID-19 arises, on that where there is a lockdown, in those days the population increases. How and why? Different reasons may be there. Reason one, decrease in the accidents on the road, decrease in the accidents in the hospitals, and other kind of the accidents they have been decreased. One reason may be there, and so on and so forth. So many decisions or so many points may be there, or so many reasons may be there. Second point, what I have interpreted, that was not correct. I have misinterpreted that due to the increase in the population due to COVID-19, consequently, the crime has increased. That was maybe right, maybe wrong. There is no fact. I have mismatched that. The point is here, the COPE guidelines are saying that inappropriate analysis does not necessarily amount to misconduct. It is not compulsory that is a misconduct. I have no knowledge to interpret the data. I committed that mistake, or the grammatical mistake is there. That is not misconduct. Misconduct is that when I will hide the facts, I will provide different points which are not at the ground. If I will say due to COVID-19 population increases, that is wrong. And it is against information. I have conveyed population increases due to period of COVID-19. I haven't so. I have not said that due to COVID-19. No. I have conveyed that population increases during the period of COVID-19. Yes. There is a gap between two statements. Another one is fabrication, falsification of the data do constitute misconduct, as I told you earlier. Now, at the time of the data analysis, what actions are to be required? What action we have to take? First action is there. How many points? So that we can elaborate. Okay. These 4 points I will complete, and then we will go for another assignment. All sources and methods used to analyze any electronic processing method should be fully disclosed. Mean to say, we have to disseminate. We have to mention in advance. Okay, I will collect this data this way. I will analyze this data this way. Never change the methodology after finding. Because of you have planned, I will utilize the factor analysis for the data reduction. You have mentioned it in your synopsis, but at the time of the result calculations, you have not utilized that. If you didn't use it, it means to say you have done misconduct. Therefore, you have to fully disclose everything. Detailed explanation should be provided for any exclusion. If you are excluding the factor analysis, At the time of the result analysis or the data analysis, you must exclude with detailed explanation why you have excluded. Next one is method of analysis must be explained in detail and referred or they are not in common use. What do you mean to say? For example, being a student of the marketing, I am utilizing the word ethnography. I must explain the term or its definition. Why I am utilizing this ethnography? For what purpose I am utilizing this ethnography? Because of in case of the ethnography is different. Terminology is different. For literature point of view, it is different. Contextual meaning may be different. In case of the marketing is different. Maybe different in case of the management. In case of the marketing, just I have to take an example. A particular person or the patient will be diagnosed by the doctor by leaving the doctor with together or under the observation. Suppose I am willing to sell a product. Being a doctor, I will treat my patient, and after 15 days I concluded that okay, this particular patient is in the need of diabetic machine. Regularly it will be given, and I will sell that particular product to him or her. It is my ethnography in case of the marketing. Or what I observed that a particular kid is there, he or she is in the requirement or is in the need of the nebulizer every day in the morning or evening. 2 time nebulizer is required, and I sold nebulizer to that patient after 15 days observation. That is my ethnography in case of the marketing management. From the point of view of the sale, what is that? But in case of the literature, ethnography may be different. In journalism and mass communication, it may be different. In case of the biotechnology, it may be different. Therefore, the point is that if the word is not common in use, then you must tell. You must give the proper reference, proper acknowledgement, proper credit to that term. Next one is post hoc analysis of the subgroups. Sometimes, what do we feel that? Post hoc analysis of the subgroups is acceptable, but it must be disclosed. Suppose you have 1,000 respondents. On the basis of their gender, on the basis of their income, on the basis of their occupation, and you visualize that we will take a particular topic. Suppose as I have chosen that there is an increase in the population of those people who are not educated. On the basis of education parameter, what I found, in totality, there is an increase in the population during COVID-19. But again, I have done the post hoc analysis on the basis of the subgroup, and what I found that where is the population increase? In those sections, I found the population increase where there is the literacy rate is less than 20%. More than? No. Subgroup may be there. It means to say those people who are only matriculate to only 10th pass, they have contributed a lot to increase the population. But the educated people, more than that, they have not contributed in that sense. Another point, the discussion section of the paper should mention any issues of the bias which have been considered and explain how they have been dealt within the design and interpretation of the study. Suppose what is its relevance? Sometimes what you see, you have faced so many problems at the time of the data collection, you must mention as the limitation of the study. We have been experienced that the result of cannot be generalized for the whole population. The result of the India cannot be same or cannot be generalized in total in Iraq or the Baghdad. No. The result derived on the basis of the data collection toward the population cannot be utilized, cannot be generalized in India. Same way. May be different. Therefore, such kind of the biasness, such kind of the limited synopsis or the thesis, or you can say research outcome. Question if no, then there is no problem. Just stay connected. All the foreign scholars, I invite